I detect a very dangerous demon nearby. You should consider getting out of here.
If you've heard of Shin Megami Tensei before, you've probably heard of the Fiends, extremely powerful monsters that usually act as the game's greatest challenges. In SMT Nocturne, they're mostly optional to unlock the game's true ending, though Matador, one of the only required Fiends, is one of the most infamous skill checks in the entire franchise. But in Shin Megami Tensei IV, they act as the game's super bosses, extremely difficult fights that fully utilize the game's mechanics and force you to do the same if you want to survive. But as challenging as these fights are, the rewards for victory more than make it worth your while, giving you some of the game's strongest gear, free level ups, or a huge increase to your stats. But the hardest part about obtaining these rewards isn't the grueling fight you have to endure, it's actually finding the fight in the first place. Similar to early games in the series, the Fiends in SMT IV have a random chance to spawn, with each Fiend having a 1 in 256 chance to spawn in a specific location. That's tied with SMT I for the lowest odds in the series. In fact, it's even worse. In SMT I, if a location didn't spawn a Fiend, it never would until you saved and reloaded. In SMT IV, the game rolls for the Fiend when you enter the area, and whether it's spawned is saved to your file. This does mean that you can fight it, die, pay carrot and play coins, then save to retry the fight as much as you want, but if it's not there, you just have to roll the dice until it is. Look anywhere online, game FAQs, Reddit, Twitter, everyone hated this, and everyone was always asking for one thing: a cheat code, a hack, an exploit, some way to guarantee the Fiends would spawn so we don't have to deal with this anymore. Well, I'm happy to announce that after over a decade, that's finally possible. Discord user 0132132 realized that since a Fiend being present is saved to your file, that might mean we could compare a save with the Fiend present to one without it, and based on what's different, find where the Fiend data is being saved. Thankfully, fellow challenge-running masochist Deus just so happened to have a save in front of the Matador fight, so Zero could despawn the Fiend, save a new file, then compare it to Deus's original. And sure enough, he found 2 bytes, BAD2 and BAD3, that were different between the two. I'm not joking, the locations in memory that determine whether you're about to get jumped in an alley are both labeled bad. The two values control different Fiends, with Bad 2 controlling Matador, Chemtrail, White Rider, and Red Rider, and Bad 3 controlling Black Rider, Pale Rider, and Trumpeter. And no, I don't have any idea why they're separated. Both bad values can be any number between 0 and 255, and if the corresponding value is 255, that Fiend will spawn. And since we know where the data is located, we can use a hex editor to edit our save file and force a Fiend to spawn. And me being a software engineer, that's where I came in. Introducing the SMT IV Fiend Fixer. This is a simple Python script that modifies your save file to force Fiends to spawn without having to deal with hex editors or other programs. The program is made to work with game saves for the Citra emulator, but it should work with other emulators too, or even decrypted save files from official hardware. Step 1. Save your game in any area where a Fiend would spawn, such as Shinjuku West Exit Park for Chemtrail. Step 2. Close the game, then right-click SMT IV in Citra and select Open Save Data Location. This opens the folder where Citra saves your SMT IV files. Make a backup if you want, then copy your save into the File Fixer folder. After that, just run the exe and you should see a window pop up that says it was successful. Close the window, then drag the file back over to your Citra saves and hit yes to overwrite. After that, boot up the game, walk up to where the Fiend spawns, and you should be ready to get your ass beat. A few important things to note: the program is specifically looking for SDDS4 Game1 or 2.sav. If your save is named something else, the program won't see it. And if you have data for both files 1 and 2 in the folder, the program will ask you to pick one to change. Also, the program is only changing whether the Fiend is currently spawned. If you leave the area and come back, the game will still re-roll, so keep that in mind. Although, since we know where the data is located in the save now, it might be possible to use that to find where it's located in RAM, then make a cheat code or cheat engine table to force the Fiends to spawn without needing to edit your save. I'm not great with cheat engines, so that's a bit out of my wheelhouse, but who knows? Either way, I'm more than satisfied with this decade-long pipe dream finally being a reality. No longer do we have to grind 1 in 256 odds to experience all the game has to offer. Deus gave Zero the tools to figure it out, and Zero gave me the knowledge on how to make it work. And now, I pass the torch to you to do with as you please. I put a link in the description to download the fixer off of Game Banana or Google Drive. And if you want to try and turn this into a game shortcode or a cheat engine table, I recommend HXD for a good hex editor. Maybe you'll be the one to take this one step further. Also, for any fans of our SMT4 talk-only challenge run, yes, we will be fighting the Fiends now, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and happy hunting!